Ramesh sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm hearing, sir.
Yes, sir. You have been made the co-host. Now you can start your class.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
All the participants are muted except you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, all of you. I'm Ramesh Babu, Training Officer, National Skill Training Institute for Women, Trichy, Tamil Nadu. First, I am thanking our Director General of Training and National Instructional Media Institute, NIMI, for giving this nice opportunity. Today, I'm going to conduct the online class on the topic mass production, apparel mass production. Here we are going to see the important sections and the important process that normally being followed in apparel industry. Okay. So, what do you mean by mass production? The production of bulk quantity of ready-made garments is known as mass production. It is, in other term, you can call as bulk production also. Here, lot of garment industries in India. It may be a large industry or medium or micro industry, different types of industry are there. They are manufacturing different types of garments, ladies garments, children's garments and children's garments. And after manufacturing, they are exporting to various foreign countries, and as well as some of the industries are doing for domestic purpose also. They are constructing ready-made garments and they send to the local within India, domestic market all over in India. So in mass production also, different sections may be there, and the number of sections and process, it may be depends upon the size of the industry. Some industry may be a very large scale industry, or it may be a large scale industry, or medium industry, or a small scale industry. Okay. Anyhow, if the size, depending on the size of the industry, and we can say that the production may increase, but the basic concept and basic sequence of operation is same only. A big industry may use different types of machineries, and a small micro industry may use a minimum number of machineries. That's all. But the concept and sequence of operation almost same in all industry. And also in mass production, apparel mass production, it may be a woven garment factory, woven garment industry, or a knitted garment industry. Whether we are discussing about woven garment industry or knitted garment industry, the basic process, all the process are same only. From starting from pattern making to up to packing. Some minor variations in sewing department and cutting department, a little bit differences there, but 90% the basic concept of process both are same only. Okay, so we see one by one the sections which are very, very important in a garment factory that they are doing mass production. First, number one is sampling in the section. They can call a sampling department also. Sampling section, each and every medium or large scale factory, a different section, a separate section will be there, that is called a sampling section. Here, what they are doing, they are preparing samples. The samples are very, very important because they are very important. That's very helpful to get the orders from buyers as well as order confirmation from buyers. Actually, first, one person's having the factory means he tried to get order from buyer. He had to identify what are the buyers are in domestic as well as in foreign countries, and he will communicate them, and by sending photographs or some samples that they will, we have to communicate them. We are manufacturing these type of ladies garments, these type of children's garments, these styles of gents garments like that, we have to communicate the buyers. And sometimes some buyers may send samples also. Some of them approach directly, and some of them approach through buying houses, and some of them direct during the techno fair or some exhibitions, we can approach the foreign buyers. Like that, we are getting orders from buyers. Okay, one buyer is agreed to give order, but after giving order, immediately you won't confirm. You won't give confirmation, because he wants to see whether we are capable to produce the order. So he'll give the entire specifications that call as tech pack. It's having all the spec sheet, all the details about that garment. For example, if he is giving one order, gents shirt means, he will tell from starting from fabric onwards up to packing. Fabric, I need this type of fabric, this type of woven fabric, and this type of weave I required, and this type of colors, 3 different colors required, and 4 different sizes, small, medium, large, extra large, like that. Each of this is piece like that, the number of quantities in each size, that the order quantity, and how to we construct the garment for designs, and design diagrams, spec sheet. Spec sheet means having all the design features and measurements, and how to we just construct the garment, how to we sew the garment, how to we pack, how to press and packing the garment, all the details they will give. After that, on the basis, the sampling department, now the order confirmation with all the details about that order sent to sampling section. The sampling section is headed by one officer or one person called a sampling in charge, and he will look after all the process in sampling section. So in sampling section, the machinery is different. All the machineries should be there, and the pattern master and assistant pattern master, the sample tailors, all are there. So after getting that details from the buyer, and the purchasing section, they will arrange the fabric, they will order the sample fabric, because we have to send samples to the buyer, and the basis of specifications and requirements, we have to construct at least 2 or 3 samples from each size, and we have to send buyers for approval. Then only the buyer will confirm the order. So for that, we need fabric. Initially, we have to get some sample fabric from our supplier, and the pattern master, and who is going to prepare the patterns for the particular order, he will analyze all the design specifications and measurements, and he just prepare the pattern for normally a base size, M size pattern he will prepare. M size pattern he will prepare, and after that, preparing the patterns, the sample tailors are being given the fabric. The fabric is given to the sample tailors, and they will cut. While cutting the fabric also, the pattern master will also assist them, and he will check how much fabric consumption is required for garment. For one garment, how much the fabric is utilized, how much the fabric, how many meters of fabric is required to construct a garment. That also very, very helpful. If they're giving that particular to the fabric section only, if the order confirmed in future, he will just we can purchase the fabric from our supplier according to our order quantity. So fabric consumption, they will calculate approximately, and the fabric have been cut and given to the sample tailors. In sampling department, the tailors are very, very, I think yesterday we discussed about the pattern grading. We are discussing about pattern master also. How much responsibility they are having to prepare the pattern, because if pattern having any small defect also, it will affect the entire lot, and crores of loss will come to the company. So that much responsibility work of that pattern making person. So in apparel industry, they will appoint a very big a person with very much experience, a very good experienced person only will be appointed as a pattern master. Okay, like that, the sampling tailor also, They should know how to operate all type of sewing machines, and they should stitch. They will stitch with utmost perfection. Then they will minimum having 5 to 6 years experience minimum. Then only they will be selected to work in sampling section, because after seeing the samples only, the buyer will confirm. On seeing the sample only, buyer can understand our capacity, whether we are capable to execute the order. So then only they will confirm. That much important for the sample preparation we have to give. So for that, the sample tailors are all are experienced, and they will stitch the garment according to the specifications. The pattern master and sampling in charge will supervise, and after that, after stitching, they will press and pack whatever the buyer is requiring, the individual piece packing, whether it may be a flat or dead man. We will discuss in the later slide. So that much, whatever presentation the buyer is requiring, the same presentation they will press and make it and send to buyer for approval. So these are called as sample. And after seeing the sample, if the buyer is satisfied, then only he will confirm the order. After satisfying, he just definitely send a mail or give a communication to us. Your order is confirmed, you can start the work. Then the sampling department will start. At the same time, the fabric section also, after confirmation, the purchase department receive this information, and they will order the fabric, the trims, that interfacing, interlining, anything, the additional materials and stationaries, and the packing materials. And at the same time, the planning section will plan the process also. Normally, the buyers are giving order in advance. You might have studied the fashion forecasting. The fashion, on the basis of fashion forecasting, they will just take a decision that we can just manufacture these type of styles of garments for this season, like that. Suppose if the garments are requiring for next 2021 summer season or spring season means, and they will order, they will give order, a confirmed order now itself, because at least minimum 1 year time is requiring, because we have to prepare the samples, we have to confirm the orders. After that, we have to start the mass production, bulk production. Normally the order quantity may be 10,000 or 50,000 or 1 lakh, like that. On the basis we have to start, and we have to complete the production. Then we have to send all these to through shipment, through ship. It will reach 3 or 4 months. It will take time to reach the particular destination. Say if destination will be in New York means, it will take 3 months. And after that, the garment will reach different stores. Suppose the order coming from USA means, it will the garment will be sent to different stores in different regions of USA. And finally, it will go to retail shop. Then from retail shop, then only the customer is ready to purchase the garment. So all these process, for that, normally the buyer will confirm the order well in advance. So on the basis, I am having the garment factory means, I can't, I am having several orders at a time means, I have to plan properly. So without planning, we can't execute the orders in time. The time is very, very important. Yesterday or day before yesterday also, we were discussing in pattern grading and that fabric quality control also. Time is a very, very important one, because we have to complete the order in time. Otherwise, our order may be cancelled or rejected by the buyer. So the time is very, very important. So we have to plan this properly. The planning section will plan all these, when we can start to purchase the fabric, and then fabric check-in, when we have to start cutting, when we have to start the sewing, like that. So after these work are simultaneously going at the same time, in sampling section, they prepared only one M size pattern only for samples. Now with the help of pattern grading, they will prepare samples for M size, L size, XL size also. The pattern may be a manual pattern making. Otherwise, nowadays the company all are maximum using the CAD software. With the help of PDS software, they can prepare patterns, and with the help of PDS software, they can prepare graded patterns also. So these are after confirming everything, then the sampling department will send the samples to the particular person who is looking after the order. Normally, previously, one person will be allotted the duty to execute the order, because each and every time the owner can't, the MD can't communicate the buyer for any doubt or clarification like that. And moreover, it's very difficult to pass the message to others. For that, he will appoint one person. Previously, he was called as client coordinator. Client coordinator means he is coordinating with the client, and he is a mediator with the buyer as well as the company. If buyer needs any modification, means he will just call the client coordinator, you please pass the message, and he will just tell the sampling section and other section to communicate. In the middle, during executing order, that time also sometimes the buyer may implement some of the changes, possibility are there. That time immediately the matter should reach all the persons. For that, it's the client at the same time, one company is having 5 to 15 number of orders, they are handling 5 to 15 number of buyers at a time, means it's very difficult to look after all the duties by one person. For that, they will appoint different 2 or 3 persons to look after different orders of different company. They are called as client coordinator. Nowadays, they are called as merchandisers, company merchandisers. So he will just communicate with the buyer, and as well as if any doubt, means one company person, any doubt arises during the order from cutting department or sewing department, means he can call that the client coordinator, and he will just confirm with the buyer, and he will clarify the doubts. So he is the mediator between the buyer as well as the company. Or then the samples, after preparing the samples and patterns, and he will just, the client coordinator may be called, and he just given all the information. The client coordinator will work from starting of the sample sending the sample, sample confirmation, and after that up to shipment, he will look after all the duties, all the production, all the process. He is responsible. So, and he will just pass information to the cutting section as well as the fabric section, other section. Now the sample has been prepared and patterns are also ready, and the client coordinator check the purchase section whether all the fabrics, trims, buttons, zips, everything have been purchased properly, and he will consult with the planning section, and he will give the intimation to the production manager to start the production like that. So it's a duty of the production manager to start the production in time. So after that, the purchase of fabric, the fabric whatever purchased is directly sent to the purchase section, directly sent to the fabric section. Okay. So in fabric section, the fabric are stored, and the received fabrics are checked in quality, whether it's having proper quality or not. So the checking method only we discussed day before yesterday in fabric quality control. So fabric quality control is very, very important, because fabric is a prime raw material of an order. 90% of the raw material is fabric only. If the fabric is having problem, means it will affect the entire order. So the fabric is stored in stores and sent to the fabric section, and sometimes the stores fabric section all together in a same venue only. They will store the received fabric, and they will check each and every meter of the received fabric. Okay. So before start checking, see, they will just conducting test also, that is called as fabric testing. Normally fabric testing means we have to, normally 2 types of tests are normally conducted in the garment factories. One is shrinkage test, another one is fastener test. Particularly for cotton fabric and powerloom fabric, the shrinkage test is very, very important, because normally after that washing the carbon, that particular cotton fabric may shrink, and if we are giving that sulfurization treatment like that, means we can't do. Otherwise, normally for powerloom fabrics, they will conduct shrinkage test. Shrinkage test means they will cut a small piece of fabric, say 20 centimeter or 20 centimeter like that, and they will just write lines, draw lines in warp direction 10 centimeter 3 or 2 or 3 places, and weft direction 10 centimeter 2 or 3 places, and they will just wash the garment or just immerse in a water and for half an hour, and after they just take the fabric and they will dry, and they will press, and they will just check the measurement. By this measurement different, they will identify, oh, this much shrinkage, percentage of shrinkage in warp direction and weft direction, like that they know. It's very, very important. And if the garment shrinks more means it's very difficult, so we have to reject the fabric only. It should be at the minimum shrinkage level. And the second one is fastness test. Fastness test means color test. In industry, somebody may call as it's a bleeding test, like that. Colloquially, they will mention it's a bleeding test. It's not a, but it's a correct name is fastness test. There are two types of tests they will do: light fastness and wash fastness. And somebody may do crocking test also, rub fastness also. And by conducting fastness test means after washing whether the color will dye is having the stability in the fabric, otherwise is loses its shade, like that. These type of tests they will conduct. Okay, these type of tests are being conducted in fabric testing. At the same time, at yesterday, day before yesterday, I told you, with the help of fabric inspection machine, they will check each and every meter of the fabric. So fabric may be different types of fabric defects. It may be a major defect or it may be a minor defect. And to analyze and classify whether this is a first quality or second quality, whether the fabric can be passed or rejected, they will follow different types of inspection system. Normally they will follow 4-point inspection system. Day before yesterday we discussed a 4-point and 10-point inspection system. On the basis, they will check and decide whether the particular fabric roll can be passed or rejected. Okay, these type of work are doing in fabric section. At the same time, it's the duty of the fabric section to purchase the required fabric and required trims like sewing thread, buttons, zips, whatever the accessories are required to construct the garment, to sew the garment. They have to purchase all the things well in advance, and they have to conduct the test also. For buttons, for visual examination, just visual testing, they can see the quality of the button and zip and thread, like that they will check. And before issuing to the concerned section, it's our duty to check whether all the fabric and trims accessories having proper quality, with proper quality or not. Okay, at the same time, it is the duty of the purchase section to purchase the additional items used for individual piece packing. That is also called trimming materials. That butterfly, back support, tissue paper, lot of pieces are there. No, they have to give proper support for the final packing. Individual piece packing we are going to discuss. For that we need some materials. That also is they will purchase and store in the fabric section or stores. Okay, now the fabric is ready for cutting. Okay, then the fabric has been passed to cutting section. In cutting section, what they are doing 5 types of important process. One is spreading, another one is pattern layout, third one is marking, fourth one is cutting, fifth one is numbering. Okay, what do you mean by spreading? And the spreading is a process of arranging the fabric one above the other or layer by layer. Hence, it is called as laying or spreading process. The arrangement of fabric is one above the other for mass cutting is called as lay. There are 2 types of spreading. One is manual spreading, another one is spreading using spreading machine. So spreading means here you see the fabric has been arranged one above the other for mass cutting. So if I'm having, I'm going to construct 5 pieces or 10 pieces means I can choose the manual cutting by scissors. But in industry, at the time we have to cut 500 pieces or 300 pieces like that. Depends upon the order quantity. So bulk cutting we have to do. So bulk cutting, we have to arrange the fabric one above the other like this. The arrangement of fabric one above the other is called as laying process. In otherwise, we can call it as spreading process also. After laying process, the arrangement of fabric, the result of arrangement of fabric, that is called as lay. So the doing laying, they are just arranging the process one above the other. At the same time, if they fall, suppose if on the two persons are required, one person is standing this side, another person this side, both are just unwind the fabric roll, they will arrange one above the other. While doing, they will check the fabric also. If they find any defect means, they will put some sticker, because it can be salvaged during cutting process. So like that, they will put stickers also. They will arrange one above other by matching one selvage at one side properly. At least one side we have to match the selvage, because it is possible to match the selvages of the fabric at one side only, because the fabric having the problem of width variation also, particularly for semi-automatic and power loom fabrics having some width variation problem. Further, they will arrange in one side. At the same time, the fabric defect may come. We discussed day before yesterday, bowing and skewness. If the fabric defects like bowing or skewness may come, it's the duty to stitch and the fabric by the spreading person. So the persons who are doing laying, they will stitch in bias direction, 45-degree true bias direction, and right side as well as left side, to correct the slantness, that is called as bowing or skewness of the fabric, if defect means. So while doing laying process, the persons are checking the fabric as well as they will just correcting the bowing or skewness by stretching. Normally, minimum bowing or skewness are allowed only, because then only the layman they can correct this properly. If the fabric is more skewness or more bowing defect means, it automatically will be rejected at the stores or fabric section itself. So we can just correct the minimum amount of bowness and skewness only. So they will arrange the one above other. So this is called as spreading process. So they are doing this manually. So if one person is coming up to end means, the end of the fabric can be cut by using a scissors, or this is they are using a ply cutter. With the help of ply cutter, we can cut the end of the fabric. So the ply means we can tell this one layer or one ply we can tell. So hence it's called as a layer cutter or ply cutter. With the help of ply cutter, they can do. And this is called as manual spreading. See, second type of spreading method is spreading by using spreading machine. Spreading machine, another name of spreading machine is traveling machine. Here in carriage, one carriage is moving on the table, a big table is there. Here the fabric is being fitted and being unwound, and automatically the carriage is moving from here and there. And with the help of that, one person also, a platform is also the side by, one person will stand and monitor the work. In spreading machine nowadays, automatic spreading machine means we can simply fix the fabric roll one side, and we have to start the machine. Automatically the fabric will, the machine will complete the entire laying process. So it's our duty to enter how many lays are going to be laid. And what about the lay length also? Lay length means I will tell you later. So these are type of instructions you are giving means automatically the spreading machine will complete all the process. Okay. So whether we are doing the spreading by manual method or machine method, it's our duty to arrange the fabric without any air gap between the layers. For that, they will use a long stick to clear the air. If any air, while doing the laying process, spreading process, if any air gap will be there means the bulginess will come. It will affect the cutting and marking process. So both the persons who are doing spreading process, they will have the long stick. While doing spreading process, they will clear clear the air gap by the help of the stick. So they have to do this as well as for manual method of spreading and in machine method of spreading also. Okay, so after spreading process, the patterns are arranged on the fabric. So this is called as pattern layout. What do you mean by pattern layout? The definition of pattern layout is the arrangement of the patterns on the fabric lay is known as layout or pattern layout. The length of the lay is known as lay length. See here, yes, in this diagram, for example, 5 patterns arranged. So the patterns occupying the fabric area from this portion to this portion means this is called as lay length. Okay, so indirectly lay length is the actual fabric conception of a garment. Fabric conception per garment or per 2 or 3 garments. So normally while doing pattern layout, they can't cut a single size. They will cut multi-size. One layer we can cut 1M, 1L. Sometimes they will cut 2 or 3 garments also. So like that. Normally they will refer as one way, two way. If one, I already told in spreading process, the fabric is being arranged layer by layer like that. If they are arranging 100 layers, for example, in spreading process, they are arranging 100 layers. That lay is having 100 layers. Each layer we are going to cut 5 garments means at a time 5 into 100, 500 garments we cut at a time. Okay. So the number of garments per lay is known as they will refer as way like that. If the garment per lay is 1 means that is one way. 2 garments per lay means 2 way. 1 way marker, 2 way marker, 3 way marker. In industry they will mention in like that only. 4 way marker means 1 layer we can cut 4 garments. So 4 garments. 5 way markers, 1 layer we can cut 5 garments. So total 500 layers means 5 into 500 at the time we can cut 2500 garments. Okay, so like that we are mentioning. So and shortly we can say the lay length is the actual fabric conception. Okay, so after laying the arrangement, the pattern arrangement, that is called as pattern layout, the outlines are being marked with the help of the marking chalk. Then whatever we are following swing section, the outline we are marking, then we are cutting. No, after marking outline they are going to cut. Okay, with the help of this cutting machine they are going to cut. At the same time, so we have to know about marker also. What do you mean by marker? The drawn or marked pattern layout in a paper or fabric is known as marker. The marker is mainly used to save the time and carry out the cutting process quickly to increase the production. Suppose, see, the drawn or marked pattern layout in a fabric or paper. So we just arranged the pattern on the fabric, then the outlines of the pattern peripheries are being marked by a marker, then it is called as marker. Okay, for example, I am just doing the completed the laying process, then arrange the pattern layout and marking. For arranging the patterns, for making the pattern layout and marking, say I take nearly 2 hours time. For example, one order 2 hours time. Okay, and we can cut maximum. For example, we can do the process with 500 layers only, but we are having lot of garments to be cut. For that we have to do 5 laying process 5 or 6 times. See, if you are just able to cut 500 garments in a laying process means, if I am going to cut 3000 pieces means I have to do the same spreading process 6 times at the same pattern layout and marking process 6 times. But in pattern layout and marking, do the same arrangement only in all the layers. So for this arrangement of arranging the pattern and marking, it will take 6 hours. So I'm going to complete one layer for one layer, 6 hours it will take. Suppose if I'm using a plain type of fabric, plain fabric means what can I do? I can't do the pattern layout marker on the fabric. Let the spreading process they will do the spreading process on one side, no problem. I just take another cutting table. I can just use the paper. With the help of the paper, I am doing the marker. How? So whatever the papers are available, for marker, long papers with long sizes of papers, the papers width and length should be equal to the fabric width and fabric length, what we are fabric lay length, what we are going to use in the spreading process. Like that, the papers are used. Paper and a carbon, paper and a carbon. First we have big paper is placed on a table, and again one big carbon paper, and that type of carbon paper are specially ordered. So we can purchase specially for this purpose only. And for carbon roll, we have to arrange one paper, again one carbon, one paper, again carbon, like that we have to arrange. And after arranging 1 plus 4, one original 4 carbon copy arranging, we are just doing the pattern layout. We are arranging the patterns on the paper. Okay. Then we are just, after arranging the pattern layout, we are just marking the outline of the paper by using ballpoint pen. If I am marking means the impression will come to with the help of the carbon paper. We'll just get all the impression in all the 4 copies also. So now I am having this type of paper, marked pattern layout with 4 carbon copies. So this is known as marker. Okay. So the simultaneously the laying process are being done in different tables. And if you are doing all the 6 laying process, I can just place all the 6 papers on top of the lay. On the top of the lay, I can easily place and cut. So what I did now, actually, if I'm not using marker means I have to do the same pattern layout process and marker process for all the 6 spreading 6 lays. So it will take 6 hours, but the same process I did in marker in within 1 hour. So after 1 hour, I'm just get the marked pattern layout copy with 1 plus 4, like that I get 5 number of drawn marked pattern layout in a paper. So I have to place the paper on the top of the lay. I will cut with the help of the cutting machine. So this drawn or marked pattern layout is called as marker. The main purpose of marker is mainly to save the time. If I'm not using marker means I have to utilize 6 hours time for this process. If I'm using marker, is the same process can be completed within 1 hour. So the marker can be prepared in paper or fabric also. If we prepared in fabric, that is called as fabric marker. If it is we are using paper means that is paper marker. Okay. So after marking, we have to cut the garment, that is known as cutting process. So we can't cut manually. We can't cut the fabric by using scissors. For that, a special type of cutting machines are being used. So normally this type of cutting machine is used in garment factory. This is called as straight knife cutting machine. So straight knife cutting machine has a base plate. See one blade. This is the blade. The long blade is there, no? It's a blade. And this is called as pressure foot. This is a motor. This is handle. This is a sharpening device, like that. And while after switch on a motor, the blade will go up and down. It's a reciprocation movement. Up and down will go, and it is passed through the fabric lay. Then the fabric is being cut. So this is one type of cutting machine. This is the straight knife cutting machine. And previously, before inventing the straight knife cutting machine, these type of round knife cutting machines are being used in garment factories. Round knife means here the blade is in disc type circular round blade, and after switch on the motor, the blade will rotate, and we can just it's passed through the layer, and automatically we can execute the cutting process. But it was a failure model. What happened means, as the blade is in disc shape, it is very difficult to cut, particularly in armhole region. Humboldt region is need more accuracy, is having a curvature. So for that it's very difficult cut. Now one or two industry only they are using for doing straight cutting only. Maximum they are using straight knife cutting machine because it's user friendly and it can easily moved. Okay, this type of cutting machine. Apart from that, other type of cutting machine also use that. This is called as mad knife cutting machine. You see here one big table is there. Here one, this is the blade, one endless blade. Endless blade means it's like a rubber band like that without endless, without any end. It's a circular endless blade is there. After switch on the motor, it will go, the blade is moving like this, fastly moving like that. Here we have to pass the fabric and we have to move the fabric towards the blade and the garments is being cut. Okay, and what is the difference between straight knife and mad knife? Straight knife, the fabric lay is stable. Fabric lay is stable. The machine is movable. See, but in mad knife, the machine is stable and machine is fixed and stable. The fabric is movable. Okay, so like that, the accuracy is more. Mad knife cutting machine is having the more accuracy than straight knife cutting machine. Okay, because here we are compactly moving. There we are moving the machine through the fabric lay. Here we are compactly, easily moving the fabric towards the blade. So we can easily cut. So for that, for cutting yokes and panels which are having the patterns which are having more curves, more shapes is required means they will cut in square, rectangular shape or square shape first by using straight knife cutting machine. Then it will be cut by band knife cutting machine for accuracy. Okay, this type of cutting machine also used. Apart from that, die cutters also used in garment factory. What is die cutting machine? See, in this here the fabric die has been fixed. See, one small example is not related to apparel industry. Is a paper. For example, if paper or sheet is pasted before that, here the shape is just pressing by pressure and press automatically it is cutting. The same technique is followed by the die cutting machine. The die cutters are mainly used to cut the interfacing for collars and cuffs. Okay, so for that the same shape of die is used. But comparing band knife cutting machine, straight knife cutting machine, round knife cutting machine, die cutter is having the 100% accuracy. But the main drawback is it consumes lot of fabric. Unnecessary fabric wastage may come, and moreover the dies are very costly. For each and every shape we have to prepare different dies. That's the drawback of this die cutting machine. So, and other machine are there. One other, apart from that, they are using that computerized cutting machines also, computerized cutting knives also. In computerized cutting knives, I'm sorry, I just forgot to insert the slide. In computerized cutting knives means there is no need of marker or no need of pattern layout. With the help of CAD and CAM, computer-aided design and computer-aided machineries, it is being executed. In foreign countries, what they are doing, and only one person is required to arrange the fabric roll on the spreading machine, and another person is required to take, otherwise the same person can take the cuts to sewing section after the cutting process. Intermediately, the entire spreading process is being automatically done by the spreading machine. At the same time, the pattern master is using CAD software, and without any paperwork he will produce the pattern using CAD, and with the help of the marker software they will arrange, they will prepare marker, and the instructions directly given to the computerized cutting knives, and the computerized cutting knives will cut the machine, cut the lay automatically. So the entire process, and the spreading process, the laying process, and the pattern layout, marking, all the process clubbed into one, and only one person or two persons are required, sufficient to complete the entire process. That's are being adopted in foreign countries. Okay, then after cutting, and we have to give numbers for each and every cut. This is called as numbering process. So because some the same fabric also may have shade variation. Suppose 100 pieces are there. 100 pieces are there, and they will give serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 100 they will give, and then it's sent to sewing section. In sewing section, what they have to do, they will take the, suppose one first front back sleeve means first front should match it with the first back and first sleeve like that, and second front, second back, second sleeve. In that way only they have to do. Otherwise, if they're not following means due to the change of fabric roll or due to some dyeing problem, sometimes if the fabric having any shade variation problem means definitely it will affect the garment. So for that, to avoid the mixture of the pieces, it's better to give the number, serial number 1, 2, 3. This is called as numbering process. This person is putting number sticker on the fabric. Okay. After that, the fabric is being sent to sewing section. In sewing section, the important processes are fusing process, assorting process, sewing process, and trimming process. Fusing process is nothing but the canvases. Normally we are telling, commercially the people are telling canvas, but it's not wrong thing. We have to tell as interfacing only. For collar and collar facing, if I am having the collar, if this is a collar, this is collar facing, means the intermediate, that fabric is known as interfacing. Interfacing may be a fusible one or non-fusible one. If the fusible means we have to use iron box for each and everything. It will take a lot of time for to fix the fusible interfacing on the fabric. The fusing machine is being used. Here, see on the fabric, the canvas is being placed. Below that, the black is the machine portion. Here, the blue color fabric is there. Above that, the fusible interfacing is being placed, and it will send to the pressing machine with the help of heat and pressure. The fabric is the interfacing is fixed with the fabric. So this process is called as fusing process. So it is continuously we can do, hence it's called as continuous fusing machine. And other types of the steam fusing machine, flatbed fusing machine, different types of fusing machines are available. Then after the cuts are being sent to the sewing process. Before sewing process, what they have to do, already told they will cut in different bundles. One bundle having front, one bundle having back, and to avoid shade variation, we are giving numbering first, second, third like that. And before issuing the sewing department, the assortment process being done. What do you mean by assortment? Means one person will pick the first front, first back, first sleeve, first collar, first cuff like that. They will make a bundle. Then second front, second back, second sleeve like that. Like that, they are assorting all the things. Then it will deliver to the sewing section. Okay, that process is very, very important. That is called as assortment. So in sewing machine, the garment is being sewn by sewing operators. So there are different types of sewing machines are used in apparel industry. Single needle lock stitch machine, double needle lock stitch machine, 3-thread overlock, 5-thread overlock, and 4-thread overlock, 6-thread overlock, flat lock machine, 2-needle vertical machine, single needle chain stitch machine, 2-needle chain stitch machine. So feeder form machine, Botac machine, Velcro. So lot of machineries are there. Nowadays, they are using lot of modern machineries also. For packet attaching, well packet preparation, normally what we were doing in olden days, for preparing welt packet, where we have to say take the fabric 2 or 3 process we have to do. Nowadays, some machine is there. You just simply we can do 1 or 2 process, means automatically the pocket preparing machine will prepare the welt pocket. So like that, different pockets, and for different already we have studied sewing machine attachments. Nowadays, different types of sewing aids. Sewing aids means for sewing machine attachments or guides, folders, or different types of folders, different types of attachments, different types of guides are fixed with the sewing machine to execute different purpose. It may be a gathering work, or it may be that shirring, gathering, and different types of and Velcro attaching. So different type of process are there, and different varieties are available in the that market. So we have to purchase the machine, and we have to purchase the attachments and sewing aids according to the according to our need basis. Okay, there's a big ocean. If you are discussing sewing machine means it will take 2 or 3 days time. That much a big broad topic. So now we are discussing only the mass production. So I just go to the next section. Okay. So here the garment are being sewed. Normally 3 types of sewing production system we are being followed in garment factory. Number 1 is group system or assembly system. Number 2 is band system or conveyor system. Number 3 is individual finish system or piece day system. Group system means what? The sewing machines all are arranged group wise. So one group is doing one operation only, another group is doing another operation. Like that they will do. All will do the same operation only one by one. And finally, suppose if they are starting one operation first day means last day only they all will complete the garment at the time. So this system is called as group system. Another system is called as band system, that only being followed in garment factory. It is another type is called as conveyor system also, band system or line system. It is normally widely followed in garment factories. Here see the machines are arranged one below the one arranged one after the other. See 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Here the feed components materials have been material flow will be this direction only. Here the garment is feed. Here the complete garment is delivered. This is the band system. Because in group system any problems comes, it's very difficult to solve the quality problem because the last day only all the fabrics are being completed. That time any problems is very difficult to correct. But in band system we can see the piece within 1 hour or 2 hours. So immediately any problem, quality problem means any sewing mistake means they can easily solve. So this system only widely followed in garment factory. The other third one is individual finishing system. The individual finishing system is also called as piece day system. Here what I would do, already we discussed in the sampling department, the one person will do all the operations. So like that, here one person is do all the operations. So it is suitable for very micro industry only. If I'm having only 10 machines means I can appoint 10 tailors. I give garments each and every different types of garments to different persons, and he will complete all the operations. So it is called as piece day system only. Piece day system is will get more production at the same time poor quality because all will concentrate on production only. Sometimes they may just forget about quality. So these are some weak points of individual finishing system. 3 types of productions are being followed. Out of these, that band system only followed properly. Okay, see one photograph is shown the band system. It is there in a garment factory. So from starting the garment pieces, the components are just fed into the starting of the line. The end side, the pieces garment are delivered at the end. So after that, one person will do the trimming process. At the same time, thread sucking machine is used. See, it's a thread sucking machine, and after it will just, if they have the vacuum air, it will suck the loose and loose threads from the garment. Okay. And the garment next will just move to the finishing section. In finishing section, here what they are doing, the quality section, measurement checking, washing, pressing and packing. Quality checking means it's our duty to check the quality of the constructed piece. They will check whether any man defects or material defects or minor machine defects, they will correct. These type of quality checking they will do, and one person will check the measurement also. So each and every measurement they will check for each measurement. They will check the important measurement for each and every piece. That is very important. So they are doing measurement checking. And after measurement checking, some buyers need washed garments because already I told you no shrinkage problem is there. Any shrinkage problem is there, it will affect the entire process. So the buyers will ask, I need washed garments only. You please wash the fabric, then you please press and iron and send to me, like that. They ask the washing process also. So if I are following washing, it's our duty to, while doing pattern making, we have to add the shrinkage allowance also. Already we know the shrinkage percentage of the fabric. According to that, we have to add the shrinkage allowance before with the measurements. Then only after washing, we'll get the correct measurements. So in washing, it's a big type of washing machine they were using to wash the garment. See, big type of washing. At a time, we can put 500, 600 garments like that. That much capacity they are being used. Then after that, they will, with the help of drying machine they are using, the garment is being dried. With the help of tumble drying also, they just dried. Then finally, it come to pressing section. Okay. After pressing is nothing but, you know, iron the garment. Ironing, pressing is a little bit different. Press means we have to make press. For knitted garments, we have to do press only. And ironing means after pressing, we have to move the iron box also. With some pressure, we can apply. So that is used for woven garments. So normally two types of presses are used. One is electric press, another one is steam press. And steam press only widely used in garment factories because the finishing is very good. We can get a very good finishing and no need of applying water. Moreover, it is very, very weightless. And for that, ladies also can easily operate. Ladies also can easily operate the steam press because it's very, very weightless and will get a perfect finishing. So for the steam press only being followed in garment factory. Apart from that, hotter press is also there, but nowadays maximum nobody is using that one. Steam press only being followed. Okay. After pressing, garment is being packed. After pressing, individually we have to pack the garment. So there are different types of packs are there. See, number one is hanger pack. Here the garment is pressed and packed in hangers. See, this is called as dead man pack. The shirt sleeves are folded like a dead man. So this type of packs, dead man pack. Flat pack means, so in collar proportion without any applying any collar inner inner band and outer band butterfly without anything. We are just simply pressing means pressed packed means that is flat pack. And if you are applying butterfly and inner band, outer band, we are fixing like this means this is called as stand-up pack. These are the individual piece packing. And bulk packing we have to use. After individual pack, it should be packed in a cotton or container. So two types of packs are there. One is cotton packing. See here what they did, they are putting pieces in a cotton boxes and they are doing the packing. So this type of is called as cotton packing. Okay, cotton packing. And second one is container packing. Container packing means separate containers, particularly for garment mass production garments shipment, they are available. This container is having lot of rods and having lot of nylon ropes with loops are available. So each loop we can hang 10 garments like that. So normally this type of container packing means hanger pack is sufficient. We need not fold the material and we can save the time, and there is no need of back support and no need of tissue paper. So like that available. So container packing also nowadays being used. So these are the different types of container pack. And packing also we can use while in cotton packing or container packing. See, in cotton packing, some type of ratios they are following. In cotton pack, 4 types of cotton packs are. One is solid color, solid size. Solid color means in one cotton box. Suppose say one cotton box we have to pack 48 pieces means all should in same color and same size. Solid color, solid size. Solid color assorted size means same color in different sizes. And solid size and assorted color means same size with a different color. And assorted size and assorted color means different size in different color. So in that way they are packing in garment factory. These are called as different types of packing. Okay. So okay. So like that we are just doing the following the sequence of process and different section. I think you might have understand a little bit about mass production. Thank you for your patience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your precious time. I'm ending this meeting.
Thank you, sir.